जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शना।
जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रमा जय सुदर्शना।
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद।
श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
जय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते
ओम नमो
वासुदेवाय।
भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, chapter 5, verse number 23. 1-5-23. अहं पुरातीत भवे भवं मुने दास्यस्तु कस्याश्चन वेदवादिनाम् निरूपितो बालक एव योगिनाम् शुश्रूषणे प्रावृषि निर्विविक्षताम् अहं पुरातीत भवे भवं मुने दास्यस्तु कस्याश्चन वेदवादिनम् निरूपितो बालक एव योगिनाम् शुश्रूषणे प्रावृषि निर्विक्षताम् अहं पुरातीत भवे भवां मुने दास्यास्तु कस्याश्चन वेदवादिनाम् निरूपितो बालक एव योगिनाम् शुश्रूषणे प्रावृषि निर्विविक्षताम्. Anybody would like to recite? अहं पुरातीत भवे भवं मुने दास्यास्तु कस्यात् वेदवादिनम् निरूपितो बालक एव योगिनाम् शुश्रूषणे प्रावृषि निर्विविक्षताम्. अहं पुरातीत भवे भवं मुने दास्यास्तु कस्यात् निरूपितो बालक एव योगिनाम् शुश्रूषणे प्रावृशि निर्विविक्षताम् अहं पुरातीत भवे भवां मुने दास्यास्तु कस्याश्चन वेदवादिनाम् निरूपितो बालक एव योगिनाम् शुश्रूषणे प्रावृशि निर्विविक्षताम् अहं पुरातीत भवे भवं मुने दास्यास्तु कस्याचन वेदवादिनाम् निरूपितो बालक एव योगिनाम् शताम् शुश्रूषणे प्रावृशि निर्विविक्षता अहम I पुरा formerly atta bhave atita bhave in the previous millennium abhavam became mune o muni dasyaha of the maid servant to but kashyashchana certain vedavadinam of the followers of Vedanta nirupitaha engaged balakaha boy servant eva only yoginam of the devotees Sushushane in the service of Pravrasi during the 4 months of the rainy season. Nirvivikshatam living together. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. O Muni, in my past life in the last millennium, I was born as the son of a certain maidservant engaged in the service of Brahmanas who are following the principles of Vedanta. When they were living together during the 4 months of rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. Purport. The wonder of an atmosphere surcharged with devotional service to the Lord is briefly described herein by Śrīla Narad Muni. He was the son of most insignificant parentage. He was not properly educated. Still, because his complete energy was engaged in the service of the Lord, he became an immortal sage. Such is the powerful action of devotional service. The living entities are marginal energy of the Lord, and therefore they are meant for being properly utilized in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. When this is not done, one's situation is called Maya. Therefore, the illusion of Maya is at once dissipated as soon as one's full energy is converted in the service of the Lord instead of sense enjoyment. From the personal example of Sri Narad Muni, in his previous birth, it is clear that the service of the Lord begins with the service of Lord's bona fide servants. The Lord says that the service of his servants is greater than his personal service. Service of devotee is more valuable than service of the Lord. One should therefore choose a bona fide servant of the Lord, constantly engaged in his service. Accept such a servant as the spiritual master and engage himself in his service. Such a spiritual master is the transparent medium by which to visualize the Lord, who is beyond the conception of material senses. By service of bona fide spiritual master, the Lord consents to reveal himself in proportion to the service rendered. The utilization of human energy in the service of the Lord is the progressive path of salvation. The whole cosmic creation becomes at once identical with the Lord as soon as service in relation with the Lord is rendered under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. The expert spiritual master knows the art of utilizing everything to glorify the Lord, and therefore, under his guidance, the whole world can be turned into spiritual abode by the divine grace of Lord's servant. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातः सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. First of all, I seek blessings of all the devotees, in particular all the senior devotees like His Grace Avdut Nimai Prabhu. He's very senior to me, but still he's humbly sitting here, and all other devotees also, so that I can speak something in glorification of the Lordships and for purification of my heart. So today's our topic of discussion is first canto fifth chapter verse number 23. So in this particular chapter actually Narad Muni has appeared now, and now the contest will discuss actually that how this particular sloka came into why Narad Muni is saying this particular sloka. So the entire thing began with spiritual despondency of Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva was not feeling satisfied even after writing all the Vedic literatures. And then that as he was contemplating like that on the subject matter, immediately Narad Muni appears there. And Narad Muni actually in the previous chapter he gives him many things. He inquires actually in the beginning that very nice, you have done so much nice service and things like that. So in one sloka he gives glorification, in next sloka he gives feedback. So glorification, feedback. It's like sandwiched in between. So like that. And then Vyasamuni himself only comes actually to the conclusion that actually what is the cause of his dissatisfaction, and he reveals also to Narad Muni, and then Narad Muni confirms that yes, this is the cause of dissatisfaction. So in this particular chapter, in the verse 8 and 9, you know, Narad Muni is or Vyasamuni is telling that what is the cause of his dissatisfaction or despondency. So two causes he tells. One is that insufficient glorification of the Lord. He has not glorified the Lord actually fully. And the second one is overemphasis on Purusarthas, four Purusarthas. What are the four Purusarthas? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So, actually, Vyasamuni glorified actually the four Purusarthas, thinking that according to time, place, and circumstance, people will accept. But people actually was just getting entangled in that only, and they were not coming to the next level. So, like that. So, these are the two major reasons for his dissatisfaction. So then, Narad Muni tells that this is the reason for your dissatisfaction. Now you glorify the Lord. So the kind of literatures you are writing, there are two categories. One is exclusively glorifying the Lord. Another one is just focusing on, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So that is like karma kanda aspect actually. So that is not going to satisfy. Then Narad Vyasmuni may have questioned that what if when I'm glorifying the Lord, it is, the, writing is not proper or adequate, or it is not to the extent that actually the Lord should be glorified and things like that. Narad Muni says no problem. Even the, literatures which are not, properly having all the, metaphors, this, that, and everything, the similes of the language and things like that, still it is considered perfect because it is glorification of the Lord. On the other hand, the books that you write with perfect similes, metaphors, this, that, and everything, still it is not going to bring satisfaction in your heart. Like that he tells him. And then he glorifies actually the process of bhakti. And after, glorifying the process of bhakti, Narad Vyasmuni may have a question that what if somebody engages in bhakti but he could not complete the journey, in between only he leaves his body. So then still, either he leaves his body or he falls back to again, the path of karma kanda and things like that. Still, Narad Muni says, still that is also glorious. A fallen yogi is much better than, or a fallen devotee is much better than the most pious and, acting and the materialistic people actually. So that is why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would make sometimes statements that, people's head would get chakkar only. So he would say that the pujari who is ringing bell in the temple actually, he is far, 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 superior and dear to Krishna than the most billionaires who are giving thousands and thousands of dollars actually in donation, in charity to poor people and distributing food, this, that, and everything. And during that time, actually, was the time of this Radha Ram Mohan Rai and things like that. People emphasizing a lot on Manav Seva. They started saying Manav Seva hi, Madhav Seva hai, and things like that. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur was revolutionary actually. He did not care for all those people like that. That is what actually even Narad Muni is also telling here. Same thing, that whatever, a devotee does actually, that is eternal. Whatever gain he has got, that is eternal. He's not going to, lose his things actually. And now, after doing all this analysis actually of his despondency and things like that, there should be some case study also, right? Like we tell sometimes, some people about some particular practical aspect, that this is how you are supposed to apply in your practical life. And then we tell the case study. Like I remember, when we were there actually into engineering and before college days, actually so many of these people would come, telling about the, this chain market, the marketing, network marketing actually. So they would tell that, you purchase this product and then you inspire 10 more people and then you will become rich like this and all. And sometime actually they would call, all these people who are aspiring to, join that network marketing in a very big, mall and things like that. And there, one person enters, in a big, car, Mercedes Benz and something like that. Everybody comes and offers him flowers as if he's God only. And then, garland is given to him, and then he sits and he gives, his lecture that I was also a very poor man and things like that. And now see, I'm doing this network marketing and I have hundreds and thousands and, people like this. And initially I was having a lot of insecurity that how my finance should be taken care and all. And now anybody else joins actually under you also, actually I get commission out of it. So without working only I'm earning money. So people start getting dreams. Oh, I'm going to learn so much and things like that. But know for sure that nothing is going to come actually. So they also actually tell some case studies that this particular so and so person was in army and then he got retired. He did not have sufficient funds actually to take care of his family and things like that. But now you see here so much just because of joining this. So everywhere there are case studies that are done. Even for those people who join for UPSC and things like that. For them also actually, of course, those are like just exaggeration. They are not reality or they are not truth. Many time actually in order to people, loot the money of innocent people. Actually, they do this kind of, brainwashing of people so that, vashikaran, so that they join their group and things like that. But the spiritual vashikaran is completely opposite actually. Krishna graha grihi atma, grihit atma. So in case the graha of Krishna catches somebody, then his material life is destroyed completely like that. So and devotees are very happy also in order to be, destroyed in their material, the life and things like that, because they know that actually Krishna is there for me to take care. So then he tells the case study of his own life, and he is beginning here in this particular sloka that, in my own life actually I came across previously actually Narad Muni was a Gandharva, And when he was Gandharva, one time he was there in the heavenly planets, and they called him actually for doing kirtan. And while doing kirtan, actually he was seeing one particular apsara and he was glorifying her. Then the Lord actually, Brahmaji got angry at it. He said, "What you are doing? No, this is not the place actually where you are supposed to, do this romance and things like that. Get out of this particular place and go to Bhuloka, and you are acting like a Shudra, so you become a Shudra. Like that, he got cursed actually, and then he becomes the Dasiputra. But when he became Dasiputra, actually, fortunately, because of the mercy of Brahmaji and other great souls, and previously he engaged actually in some sort of devotional service by doing kirtan and things like that. Of course, he got deviated, but the Bhaktivedantas, they came to their place, and Narad Muni actually happened to render service to them. So this particular sloka is now beginning actually about that how Narad Muni is describing his own case study, and the glorification of association of devotees. So Chaitanya Charitamrita very nicely it describes that sadhu sangha sarva shastra koi lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hai. Somehow or other, if we come in association of devotees, even for a moment is 1/6 of the second actually. Even for that moment also, we come in association of devotees, you know, once material life will be completely destroyed actually, and one will become completely transcendental to all these things. It's just matter of time actually that these things will go away like this. So somehow or other, if we come in contact with the devotees, only auspicious things awaits. Whether the person is favorable or unfavorable. Eventually, actually, only auspicious things are only going to take place in life of such a person actually. So when case studies are given, actually people become very thrilled. They become, that क्या हुआ next? उसके बाद में क्या हुआ? इसके बाद में क्या हुआ? Like I'll tell you one case study. In materialistic life also, actually people tell lot of case studies. So when 2009 and 10 I wrote one exam called GDST, Grand Dictionary Selection Test Examination. They selected 50 students all over India to give free JE coaching. So I was one among them, came to here, Baglur, one village there nearby, near Yalanka. Studied there for 2 years. So there I came across one person called Monish Pabrai. So he's a Indian American actually, native Indian American, big businessman actually, like that. Lot of money and things like that. But he comes from a very poor family. Actually, his father was having a small that thela is there, that for cart. So that kind of thing he would run, and they would stay under a bridge in India, in one particular place in Kerala actually. So he was coming from a very poor family, poor background like this and things like that. But then eventually he studied very nicely actually. And after studying all these things actually, he somehow or other got scholarships, went into IIT Kharagpur, did his BTech. Then from there he wrote GRE, he went to US, did his studies there. Then he became a big businessman actually, very rich person actually. Now every year practically he gives almost like 2000 crores, that much amount he gives basically, that much he's very rich personality. And he has made group of 5 to 7 billionaires who give him funds for this charity purpose. So Prem Vatsa is another Indian Canadian who is one of the richest personality in Canada. So he also gives a lot of money to him and things like that. So he's when we heard about his inspiration, that how such nice personality he is, and he underwent this kind of difficulties, but he was not having sufficient opportunities to grow in his material career and things like that. So after becoming actually very rich personality and having a lot of business and things like that, he decided that actually I will help those people actually in India who did not get sufficient opportunity actually in order to grow in their material life and things like that. So then he went to meet this Super 30 person, Anand, Mr. Anand. And he asked him that, can you please make your Super 30 to Super 3000? I'll fund whatever amount is required and things like that. He said, I have made my name as brand Super 30, so I won't change. But you can copy my idea and you can do it. So then he collaborated actually with Navodayas. So Navodayas are like free residential schools, wherein every district has one Navodaya, and they select only 80 students, every year for admission. And free education, hostel, everything is given like this. So he thought, these are the people actually who can, whom I can give training and things like that. So now his target, when I was part of the Dakshana, so during that time his target was every year 2020 students should enter into IITs and NITs. And 2021, 2021 students should enter. Like that, he's targeting. And he is giving free coaching actually to almost 6,000 students. And that too, those students are not randomly selected. Those students who are coming from humble backgrounds and who are not having sufficient funds. At the same time, very meritorious also. Those who are very much good in their studies and things like that. So he selects like that students and give them free coachings. So now he has 7 centers actually. So one is in Bangalore. Initially the capacity began with 50. Now they have almost 360 students every year. Like the 7 centers are there. So almost 6,000 students is giving free coaching, free books, free stay, free food, everything is free like that. And high class teachers, not that just some teachers are put, no, high class teachers. So when we heard about this case study, actually we all were inspired in our life like anything. So we thought he's our role model and things like that. And he used to tell us this one particular thing, that he came across people who give free food and things like that. So he thought, if I just squander my money just for giving free food to poor people and things like that, they'll eat today and tomorrow pass it in the bathroom and things like that, again they'll come with a plate, give me food. Rather, I'll give job to a person, then he'll take care of his family for the rest of the life and things like that. But Krishna conscious philosophy is topmost. Just end the material life itself so that he doesn't have to come with a ball in the material world only, actually. That's how actually I was impressed by Prabhupada's philosophy a lot. So when I, like that, so many case studies, when we, come across, then we feel like, yes, actually something can be done in this particular direction and things like that. Similarly, in the spiritual, circle also, we come across so many case studies. Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with case studies. First case study is beginning with Narad Muni's life. Then eventually the case study, how to prepare actually for giving up life. The duration will begin with Bhishma Pitama, then how to give up home, Dhritarashtra. Then eventually Parikshit Maharaj, very nicely, situated in kingship position and things like that. You know, just acted little bit wrongly by putting a snake around a great sage. So how to act in such circumstances, situations? Again, case study. Like that, each canto is filled with case studies actually. Like that. If you have material dissatisfaction, the case studies are given. Like Pingala, correct? In 11th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the case study is given. Similarly, material dissatisfaction, one more very famous case study. Avanti Brahman, correct? Normal person only, but engaged in so-called karma kanda and things like that. Very miser, not utilizing his money and things like that. But then eventually dissatisfied, parents, friends, relatives, everybody rejected him. What to do? Case study is given. Very nice case study. Then another case study of a person aspiring for opposite sex. Purarava, correct? It is given in 9th canto also, and again, it gets ended with Ila Gita in 11th canto. So case study is given, then actually it becomes more lively. Only philosophy is given, then we will feel like, अरे थोड़ा सो लेते हैं प्रभु जी, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, सब कुछ overhead is going and things like that. That is the reason actually Vyasdev actually wrote Mahabharata, because Mahabharata is filled with suspense, filled with romance, filled with thrill like this. The people get actually mesmerized when they hear this kind of description actually, like that. So this particular case study is the case study of wonder. That is how actually the purport begins. Prabhupada is beginning the purport with the wonder of an atmosphere surcharged with devotional service to the Lord is briefly described herein by Sri Narad Muni. So what is that wonder? That wonder is that how a Dasi Putra became such a great sage that now most of the case studies that we hear in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, most of them are actually somehow or other, directly or indirectly, they are connected to Narad Muni. Correct? Like we hear about Chitraketu, connected to Narad Muni. We hear about Dhruva Maharaj, connected to Narad Muni. Braj pastimes, the pastime in Vrindavan, they are connected to Narad Muni, because Narad Muni only actually started. He only acted as a catalyst, and he only instigated actually our Kamsa Prabhu, so that actually Krishna somehow or other appears fast. So Narad Muni is practically instrumental in most of the pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam actually. Correct or no? Directly or indirectly. So how such a personality, he became such a personality? An ordinary Dasi Putra only. Correct or no? So this is the wonder. That is why Prabhupada is saying that This is the wonder. Atmosphere, surcharged with devotional service. So now the question may come up, you know, devotional service? I'm also serving. No, there are two kinds of service. Either serve Krishna or serve Maya. So what is Maya? Then one may think. In case, so Prabhupada is clarifying here, that in case we are not engaged in service of the Lord, then that is Maya. Very simple. Okay. Next, Prabhupada is describing in the purport. Okay, then how to destroy Maya? I am already engaged in service of material energy. How to destroy Maya? Solution is very simple. Come out of this illusion and engage in service of Lord. The next question may come up, but how to engage in service of the Lord? Because I don't know, Lord is there in the spiritual world, correct? I have no connection with the Lord. How do I ask him that how do I serve you? The answer is again Prabhupada is describing. It's very simple. How to engage in service of the Lord? It's clear that the service of the Lord begins with the service of Lord's bona fide devotees. So identify a bona fide devotee or find a devotee and engage in his service. Oh, really? I have to find a devotee actually and engage in his service. How to identify a devotee actually? Prabhupada is next. He is clarifying that how to identify a servant is very simple. That such a servant himself is actually engaged in service of the Lord actually. So you engage yourself in the service of a devotee who himself is engaged in the service of Lord, like that. Oh, really? So what should I do? Identify that devotee and serve him. Simple. That is what actually Prabhupada is describing here. So one should therefore choose a bona fide servant of Lord, constantly engaged in his service, accept such a servant as a spiritual master and engage himself in his service. Such a spiritual master is transparent medium by which visualize the Lord, who is beyond the conception of material senses. So materially we cannot see, but by the grace of the spiritual master one can see. So the next question will appear. Okay, but then what will happen? What is the procedure if I engage in the service of the Lord? How do I identify that Maya is getting destroyed or not getting destroyed? What will happen practically in my heart? So that is what Prabhupada is describing next. What will happen when we engage in service of the Lord? The Lord consents to reveal himself in the proportion to the service rendered. To the degree we perform pure devotional service, to the degree the Lord will reveal in our heart. He will reveal himself actually to a devotee. Oh, really? Such an amazing thing. Actually, I was not knowing that to the degree I engage in pure devotional service of the Lord's devotee, to the degree that Lord will reveal to me. Okay, but how do I have faith? You know, by engaging in, that these things are going to take place. Some faith should be there, right? So that will take place provided when, one has seen the life of such a expert spiritual master. And such case studies are there a lot available. That is why people, when they hear about the glories of Śrīla Prabhupāda, that how Śrīla Prabhupāda at the age of 70-year-old man, people don't think of getting out of their house only. He is getting, thinking of going out, to another country and starting, a spiritual organization, bringing out a revolution in the life of, the impious people actually, like that. So when this case study is given, then actually our heart also feels, with hope that yes, there is hope actually for me also in my life. Otherwise, actually, what is going to happen? Generally, in the material world, actually everybody is dissatisfied. Nobody is there in the material world who is satisfied. For sure, somehow or other, they are dissatisfied in the material life. So when materially people are dissatisfied, they try to find out permutation combination of material, ways to satisfy their senses. Like initially, students there enter into engineering college. Initially, they begin with sutta, smoking, and then eventually drinking, then eventually girlfriend, then drugs. Nothing satisfies. Then many of the time actually they just jump actually from the building. Like one of the IIT student, he committed suicide and he wrote, I am not committing suicide that I am feeling dissatisfied or I am frustrated in my life or things like that. I thought there is no purpose only in living. There is no purpose in living. Why have to struggle unnecessarily so much? So just committed suicide. That's all. So materially, how much our permutation combination one may try, one will never be satisfied actually. That is what actually the case study there of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and that is what is being described in Mahabharata also. Kauravas, they had everything actually. Correct? Similarly, Chitraketu Maharaj, he had everything. Entire king, entire world is under his jurisdiction. But only one thing is missing. What is that? One son is not there. The son came, was very happy, but the son is dead. Again, despondency. No, 1 crore wives are there. Everything is there at his beck and call. So in material life, actually, some or other thing will be there that we will be, dissatisfied. But now same thing may happen even in the spiritual circle also, that one may be dissatisfied. Yes. So material despondency leads to more misery. Spiritual despondency leads to spiritual satisfaction actually of the heart. Like Vyasamuni here, he was dissatisfied after writing all the Vedic literatures, scriptures, and everything also. But ultimately, what came out because of that dissatisfaction? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam came out. Arjuna was dissatisfied actually in the beginning of battlefield of Kurukshetra actually. That why I should kill all these people and things like that. He inquired from Krishna. What came out? Bhagavatam came out. After the battlefield of Kurukshetra, who are dissatisfied? That, oh my lord, I have killed so many people. Because of me, actually, this massacre happened. Yudhishthir Maharaj. Because of that, what came out? Vishnu Sahasranam came out. The Vishnu Sahasranam is actually being described by whom? Bhishma Pitama. And that came out because of Yudhishthir Maharaj dissatisfaction. So in the spiritual way, in the spiritual life, in case somebody is dissatisfied, then the solution is what? Go and inquire from a higher authority. Auspicious things only awaits. And that is being actually described time and again in the spiritual circle actually. In the life of Prabhupada disciples also, in the life of the great personalities, even in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also. So whenever we feel dissatisfied, if we try out only the permutation combination of material life, again more and more dissatisfaction only is going to be there. But if we turn our direction actually towards Krishna or his devotees, only auspicious things awaits. And that is what this case study is all about. Narad Muni is telling about his own life, that you are trying to be happy in the heavenly planets but could not become happy, but just by exclusively glorifying the Lord actually became completely satisfied actually. So that is why the service to the devotees or service to the servants of the devotees is glorified more than even service to the Lord also. Srimad Bhagavatam first canto only says, Susruso Shraddha Dhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nikevada. So just by rendering service to great personalities actually, great favor is done to ourselves only. And such a great favor actually we don't have to do, we cannot get actually by any other way. And that service to the Vaishnavas is available abundantly actually is available. What one has to do? Very simple thing. Cook for them. Like what Narad Muni did. He took plate of prasadam for them. He washed actually the place where they took prasad. Then he brought back the plates and those things in which they have taken prasad or they have honored the prasad. He himself accepted those remnants. Again washed it. Again helped his mother to bring some vegetables, this, that, and everything. And then just rendered that service only. Just by that, actually the Bhaktivedanta they gave instructions to Narad Muni that eventually actually you will be able to see the Lord within your heart. Just chant this mantra. Om Namo Narayanaya. And just by chanting, and then eventually what happened? His mother died. But he considered this as a favor of the Lord. So now we'll just quickly discuss about this favor of the Lord actually. So in 10:14:8, that is one of the famous and most quoted sloka by Prabhupada, one of the most quoted sloka. Tatte nukampam susamekshemano bhunjanu evatmakritam vipakam Ridvagvapurvir vidadam namaste jivete yo mukti padeshadaya bhag. So in this word, in this particular sloka, we'll just discuss, the important, very important word. All are important words. It will take 3-4 hours. But Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidabhushan, they focus actually mainly on these two words. Sorry, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur and Siddha Swami, they focus on two words specifically. Susamiksamano and Daibhag. So Daibhag means actually inheritance. And now we'll discuss the meaning of Susamiksamano. So Susamiksamano, this word begins with three things. Three parts are there. I'll just open the sloka and show you. So first it begins with Ikshamano. So this Ikshamanu means actually the devotee is having grateful heart, or he tolerates basically whatever reaction are coming in his life, knowing that actually it is the result of my own consequences. And he knows also those consequences, that he has done something like this, and this is how this reaction is coming to me. Like I tell in my own life also, like when I was there in NITK, our away going through there, his brother was there, Arjun and Prabhu. Both of us we studied together in NITK. So both of them actually they are born and brought up. They were born here in Bangalore, but brought up in Dubai, and a very rich family and things like that. So he came and stayed in with us in voice. So one day he was brooming, So brooming seva was given, mopping and things like that. And he was not knowing how to broom. So he was brooming like this, and I was just laughing, and I was just making fun of him and things like that. So he became, little angry and things that, Prabhu, you don't know, you know, you don't know how, I don't know how to broom, and you don't know how to help, like that. So then he became angry and he gave me almost 1 hour class. So then I understood this reaction came to me because I only initially actually was laughing at him and things like that. So I knew that actually now I have to do what? Tolerate only and learn also and things like that. So many times. So this happened immediately only, but sometime it may happen that the reaction may come after 2 3 days also, and we know that actually it is a reaction of my own action only. Like another time I made fun of some other devotees and things like that. And the complaint went actually to like I was made as internal manager, and I was telling everybody I sabko time pe seva karna and things like that. So one devotee, one senior of mine, his offering was there bhoga, and he did not come on time. So I called him up. He did not pick up. So then I put message in the group that devotees are supposed to learn responsibility and things like that. So then next day actually class happened exclusively for me in front of everybody. So Sadhya Prabhu took class actually about how we are supposed to deal with seniors and superiors. Otherwise, we are digging our own pit to bury ourselves only and things like that. So then I have to learn that I have to tolerate only because I only misbehaved, na. So this is called ikshamano. The devotee tolerates actually the consequences of the actions, knowing that actually the reaction of my own actions. Next one is actually called Samikshamano. So Ikshamano, next part is what? Samikshamano. That is next level of tolerance. Next level of tolerance means I know that actually this is the result of my own actions only previously performed, but I don't know what action I performed. This is the result of my own action only, but I don't know that what actions I performed actually. Like sometime actually you are going and suddenly you hit, a big, rod or some block or something is kept actually. And then you feel like, my Lord, what did I do? Whom did I blaspheme? Whom did I beat? This, that, and everything. And then you catch your feet and sit down. So you know what you have to do. You just have to tolerate only. You cannot hit, again your leg or something like that. But it's the reaction of our own action only. Correct or no? Sometimes you go to the company and the boss becomes unnecessarily agitated, angry, and he says he blasphemes you like anything, even after doing all the work and things like that. What you have to do? Tolerate. Correct, no? Because we know that actually I want money, that is why I have to tolerate. So this is the reaction of our own actions only, but we don't know what actions we performed previously. That is called samikshamana. So devotee tolerates at the same time remains grateful even in that circumstance also. So samikshamana means a devotee has not performed only that kind of actions. Still reaction is coming to him. Still he tolerates, like Pandavas. Pandavas, they go and ask Bhishma Pitama that what is the cause for so much dissatisfaction, so much of injustice in our life and things like that. What actions we did? Actually, Pandavas, they did not do anything. So what Bhishma Pitama say? This is the will of the Lord. It's a Kala Chakra. This is destiny. That is how Krishna is acting in your life. So that is actually for pure devotees. Susumikshamanu. They are tolerating even the reaction of those actions which they have not performed also. So Prabhupada, in the purport, he is saying that if we reach on even on the first level, our ticket back to Godhead is confirmed. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur analyzes that. So we'll just read that purport and part and then we'll end it. Okay. So Prabhupada is saying that one will go back home back to Godhead. Yeah. Just see this. Srila Sridhar Swami explains in his commentary that just as the legitimate son has to simply remain alive to gain an inheritance from his father, one who simply remains alive in Krishna consciousness, following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, automatically becomes eligible to receive the mercy of the personality of Godhead. In other words, he will be promoted to the kingdom of God. The word Susamiksha Manu indicates that the devotee earnestly awaits the mercy of Supreme Lord, even while suffering the painful effects of previous sinful activities. So this is what Prabhupada is saying, that if you can reach on this level only, ticket back to God, that is confirmed, and while being engaged in the service of the Lord, actually, like that. So, just to summarize what we discussed actually in the beginning, today's sloka. So we discussed actually that there is despondency for everyone in the material life also, in the spiritual life also. So material ways of permutation combinations of trying to become satisfied actually are never going to work. It never worked in history for any one of the greatest personalities actually. How much of permutation combination they tried. Only thing that is going to work is Krishna consciousness. And in Krishna consciousness also sometimes means many times actually there will be despondency. But the solution is what? Turn towards higher authorities, inquire from them and engage in their service. And then in elaboration we discussed actually about the purport that the case studies are given, that when these case studies are given, these are for our personal application, that this is what we are supposed to do. Just engage in the menial, humble service of great personalities, and then all sorts of dissatisfaction and will be completely gone. I'll just narrate one particular incident in my life. 2017, I came to Bangalore and we started actually some sort of preaching in Peset College. Before that, in NITK, we were doing preaching and things like that. A lot of good results and were coming. So, lot of pride was there in the heart that we can do something like this. The devotees asked that, how many boys you will preach and how many boys you will shift in the voice and things like that. I said, 15-20 तो आ ही जाएंगे कम से कम and things like that. And devotees were saying, my Lord, 15-20 संकल्प के नहीं आते हैं और ये शिफ्टिंग के लिए बात कर रहे हैं. प्रभु आपको पता नहीं कैसे preaching करते हैं, हम करके दिखाएंगे and things like that. And that year actually started preaching, and not even one boy came from my group for Sankalpa only. Of course, actually the job was very hectic, and every day evening 6 o'clock I would go for follow up. And in my group, whomever I would go for follow up, those boys actually they would say that 6 o'clock too many mosquitoes come here, so we cannot come for your group. We'll give up your group and we'll go and join other group actually, which comes at 5 o'clock. So nobody was there in my group actually, and I was feeling my Lord, इधर preaching के लिए आए थे, इधर सेवा करने के लिए आए थे, कुछ नहीं मिला. Leaving job, this, that, and all, getting some job in Bangalore and things like that. So that kind of thing was going on post Sankalpa, and then Spurti came. So I was manager actually in the Spurti entire camp organizing for all South India and things like that. So I thought ठीक है अभी थोड़ा स्फूर्ति में तो करके दिखा देंगे सबको देख के हम अच्छा सेवा करते हैं things like that. So organized Spurti very nicely. Everything was like very nicely maintained and organized and things like that. Only one mistake that happened, that the place where the lecture was supposed to take place, in that hall, lot of Mayavadi's photos were there. Next day early morning, Radheshyam Prabhu got up and he came for chanting. He comes at 4:30 sharp for chanting. So he came and he said for chanting. And then he said, who is the fellow who is organizing camp? Call him immediately. Here. I said, yes, Prabhuji, what happened? He said, where is Tulsi Maharani? Where is Gaunita? Where is the altar? I said, Prabhuji, before Mangalarti it will be done. He said, I am sitting here, surrounded by all Mayavadis. In your brain, you have brain or you have, garbage. Prabhuji became little, strong actually. And then I was feeling, my Lord, इतना सब किया है प्रभु को थोड़ा तो होना चाहिए and things like that. Immediately ran out, found out in front of somebody's house, some big tulsi pot, and then brought it, and then kept Hare Krishna Mahamantra and kept some Gaunitai deities and things like that. And then brought some calendars actually and covered those photos of Mayavadis and things like that. Entire morning program went in that only. And after morning program, Prabhuji was full, he was happy, but he did not speak anything actually. So for 3 days actually, I forgot about everything, all past, this, that, and everything. I was like so much attentive that nothing should go here and there and things like that. Then when Prabhuji was, Spurti camp got over, then I went and said, Prabhuji, please forgive me for all these things and all. He said, hey, no, 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 nothing like that. I remember you are all very hardworking in NITK. Actually, you would come and you would conduct so many camps, bring your vehicle, put form, dari, chatai, everything, and come to Udupi. And you hosted actually, us also when we came actually for Pejavar Swami's Pariyaya, when Yoliness, Ranand Maharaj and Rajumna Maharaj and all came. I remember you are a very hardworking person and all. I just told like this only. I said, Prabhuji, that is all right, but I'm feeling dissatisfaction in my heart. Please tell me something that what can I do? So then he suggested me this particular section of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He said that you read it, make nice notes and share with me. Then, whatever lecture I'm giving you, if you have any questions, then we'll discuss. So then actually eventually I wrote some mails and things like that to Prabhuji. And it was so nice actually that the entire 2 years became so Krishna conscious. I was like just going in ecstasy that ठीक है result नहीं आया, no problem, but Prabhuji is happy now. That's all. So whenever actually this kind of things are happening, just turn towards great souls. And that great soul, it is not that we have to turn only towards personalities like Radheshyam Prabhu and others. No, even immediate superiors also. They also help us a lot in order to overcome this kind of dissatisfaction. So these case studies of dissatisfaction actually they bring revolution in the life of a devotee, provided actually he turns towards them and inquires from those devotees. So in total, what we discussed actually about this dissatisfaction, despondency, materiality, or spiritually, just turn towards devotees, inquire from them, and act accordingly. Actually, don't be just on the mental platform. And then we discussed actually about tolerating and being grateful, ikshamano, susamiksamano, and Samikshamano and Susamikshamano. If we can just reach on the level of Ikshamano itself, actually, take it back to God, that is confirmed. What to speak of? Susamikshamano, actually, because that is what Prabhupada is saying us like that. So, this is it. Any comments? Prabhu, you want to add anything? Avadut Kumar, you want to add something? Okay. Any questions or comments? Any of you have? Quick questions. Those of you have to go for office or anything, feel free to please continue your office work. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, I Okay, amazing question that is asked by Ayush Prabhu that Narad Muni he engaged actually in the service of Bhakti Vedantas, and then after engaging in the service of the Bhakti Vedantas, actually he did even sadhana and austerities also, and that's how actually he became such a great sage. But in our case, if we just engage only in service and not do sadhana, then do we get satisfaction? See, uh, the association of great saints, specifically devotees, it's such that if you engage in their service, by default they'll engage you in sadhana, service. Like Bhaktivedantas. What did Narad Muni do? He did not only do service actually, but he saw them actually that how happy they were actually engaged in doing Krishna Katha with each other. So he heard actually from them the descriptions actually. They would sit together and they would have discussions actually about Bhagavatam. So he heard that. And a true devotee of the Lord, he will not only just engage us in just doing management and other things. The exclusive glorification of the Lord and engaging in exclusive glorification of the Lord, that is what actually a devotee will suggest. Like yesterday, Maharaj was also telling that boy asked, His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj, that what is the practical lesson after 2 hours of Bhagavatam class? Practical lesson of after Bhagavatam class, here 2 more hours Bhagavatam class. So to engage in the service, Shravanam and Kirtanam, that is the ultimate goal or aim of all management within ISKCON. And all services, the ultimate goal is what? Shravanam and Kirtanam. Like we built this temple for what? For worshipping Lord, for having Śrīmad Bhāgavatam classes, for having nice Kirtan. There is no other goal. And if you don't do that, that means the purpose is lost. So the purpose of any service that we do is to ultimately engage in Shravanam and Kirtanam. Of course, we have a lot of passion and ignorance. So in order to exhaust that passion, actually physical services are also required. But know for sure that actually that is why Prabhupada gave so much importance to morning program. So any devotee who is engaging in service, he will never say that you miss Bhagavatam class and do service. Of course, sometime because of time, place, and circumstance, one may have to miss because of engaging in some sort of service. But devotee will always encourage us to do more Shravanam and Kirtanam. Like in my life, I am engaged in so much of management and things like that. But Vajakrishna Prabhu makes sure that actually every day I hear one lecture personally, at least do Prabhupada book reading weekly 6 or 7 hours and things like that. If I don't do that, then he will cut off some of my wings. ठीक है थोड़ा humble बनो आप. Now give up this, sit down here, do your sadhana first, and then do remaining things. And sometimes I feel no Prabhuji, that is waiting, this is waiting, and things like that. Nothing doing. First complete this quota. Like that. When we engage in the service of the devotee, they will automatically engage us in Sravanam and Kirtanam because they themselves are engaged in that one. Correct or not? That is the ultimate goal that we have, that we being completely absorbed in Sravanam and Kirtanam. An exclusive Sravanam and Kirtanam. That is what Bhagavatam class is about. Exclusive. And that is the reason actually Vyasa was dissatisfied. You are not exclusively engaged in Sravanam and Kirtanam. And that should be our goal of life, that ultimately I should be exclusively engaged in Sravanam and Kirtanam, specifically towards the end of our life. If not immediately, but as time passes, the quantity and quality both should increase of Sravanam and Kirtanam. Fine. And by engaging in the service of the devotees, actually lot of Agyat Sukriti that you get, and that is called Bhakti Sukriti, not Agyat Sukriti, Bhakti Sukriti, by which actually one's affinity to hear Bhagavatam actually increases. That is what that sloka says, no? Sususo Shraddha-dhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. So one will develop Ruchi by engaging in service of the devotee. But many times actually what happens, we don't engage in the service of the Lord, we want to do artificially so much of hearing and things like that. And then, during sadhana, we are like snoring only practically. We are not attentive. Why? Because we are not serving devotees. Simple. The passion and ignorance are not exhausted. Passion and ignorance are exhausted, then we'll be attentive in sadhana also. So there are two extremities. Either just engage in sarvanam and kirtanam or just engage in service. But both are service actually. Balance is required in the life of a sadhaka. Be simple. Yes, go. Pranam. Yes, go. Hmm. Uh, this particular the reference actually I don't know. Like it comes in one of the Puranas only. Which Purana it comes I don't know. But I heard the elaborate study in this life of Narad Muni actually from His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj. The lecture is there. I'll find out the reference and give you which particular Purana actually that story comes. If you are preaching in our small way to one or two devotees and attending Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class, is that also enough for following instructions of bona fide devotee? Preaching to neophytes. Okay, Hare Krishna. Very nice question. That see, whatever service we should do, na, actually somebody should be there above us, to monitor us. Because sometime we may feel that this much is enough and things like that. But our capacity will be maybe much more actually. At the same time, see, first for engaging for all ISKCON devotees, the general rule is generally to engage in service of the Lord. The principle that is being described is dharmo rakshati rakshataha. We should remember this. What is that? Can you repeat? Dharmo rakshati rakshataha. If we protect dharma, dharma will protect us. So if we protect our morning program will protect us. Very simple. So hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes, attentively chanting our rounds, attending Mangalarti, that is our dharma. If you do our dharma, that dharma very nicely, then throughout the day consciousness will be very nice and we can actually do dharma. So dharmo rakshati rakshataha. So you are saying that you are engaged in small preaching. No service is small or big. In eyes of Krishna, every service is amazing service. Whether somebody is bringing 5,000 people, somebody is bringing five people. Every service is glorious. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, actually he glorifies devotees who do vessel washing, who do garland making, and not the preachers at all. So much he glorifies actually sitting on Vyasasan in the Yatra Pandal, he will glorify those devotees who will go and wash vessels actually. So one time it so happened that Radhashyam Prabhu Like in Yatra, actually, there are like 10,000, 15,000, 12,000 devotees come. So Radheshyam Prabhu went and he went inside one vessel and he was watching it from inside. And Ranal Maharaj happened to go there and he saw it. And he was very happy actually. So he came after, and towards the Yatra conclusion actually, when Yatra was being concluded. So he was glorifying Radheshyam Prabhu this particular aspect. He did not glorify Radheshyam Prabhu even one time also. He did not glorify publicly at least. He's preaching to so many youths, bringing so many youths actually to Krishna consciousness, and making them devotees and things like that. He did not glorify, but he glorified what? He's doing vessel washing, going inside the vessel only practically and wiping it from all direction and all. And actually, I saw that particular site. It was very beautiful. Prabhuji has put his dhoti above, kurta like this, and like innocent child. You just tell him that Prabhuji, this vessel has to be done. Tell me, Prabhu, next what should I do? Then he will tell you give vessel, Prabhuji. This has to be washed, huh? He'll wash. Then somebody will say that Prabhuji, no, water has to be put actually for this. Okay, I'll put water also, no problem. I'll put soap also. Everything he will do. Some vessel is brought back, Prabhuji, this is not washed properly. Oh, sorry, I'll again wash it. Like a very innocent child, he'll accept like this. So Maharaj was glorifying that particular aspect, not his elaborate service actually as a youth preacher and youth icon actually for the entire ISKCON world and things like that. So no service in the eyes of the Lord actually is small or big. Whatever time we have actually, if we just engage, that time in service of the Lord, Krishna doesn't see that actually how much we are giving. Krishna sees how much we are holding back, how much we are engaged in sense gratification actually. So if you are engaged in preaching service is especially very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Śrīla Prabhupāda. So for sure that we are going to get a lot of mercy of them. Whether it is small, big, that is not a problem. Eventually it will begin big. Every endeavor that begins actually begins with a very small endeavor only and things like that. So first is protect our dharma of morning program that you are already doing very nicely. And then inquire from seniors. In case you have dissatisfaction, then ask from your mentor, your guide, that Prabhuji, I am doing this much only, should I do more? Then they will say, yes, do more. In case if they are saying no, just hold on. That is enough. No problem. Continue. Like I remember when I was there in 2019, COVID began actually. So Peset preaching was going on and I was engaged there in preaching. Prabhuji said, now give time to other younger devotees. Enough of your show off. Now you give time to other duties. I said, okay, no problem. Then I said, okay, what should I do? He said, you start some preaching. No, some preaching you start. I said, okay. And we started preaching, online preaching actually for RV College, UVCE, Bangalore Medical College, like that 4 or 5 colleges. We started doing online registration. We started conducting preaching myself in our Ronak Prabhu. So then COVID was about to get over. Then we opened RV Voice. We started there. From RV Voice, actually, there is nearby one another institute actually. Uh, Indian Statistical Institute actually. There are in India only 3 or 4 only are there. Very premium institute is there in Kengeri only. So we started preaching there also. Then near there actually another Bangalore Engineering College is also there. Very big campus, almost 40,000 students are there. So I wanted to go and preach there also. Guruji said nothing. First you maintain these two only. That is enough. Don't just go in the creation mode. Go in the maintenance mode like that. Guruji said, calm down. Then I heard actually one lecture of His Holiness Bhakti Rasan Maharaj. Old lecture, and in that lecture Maharaj was emphasizing that his wish is that actually somebody should preach in there is one college NI NLSIU, Indian Law Institute of something like that. It is one of the premium institute in Bangalore actually. So Maharaj's desire was to engage in that preaching in that particular place. Myself and Abhimanyu Guru went for book distribution there and registered some boys actually for conducting some Gita session. I thought I'll go and tell to Prabhuji that we are doing this preaching also. Prabhuji will be very happy. And I said, Prabhuji said, hey, I told you first to maintain. Why are you going, having so much passion and this? Then I said, take Prabhuji. Stop. So sometimes they may say like this. Sometimes when we are not doing anything, then they will say, "Kya kar rahe? Kuch nahi kar rahe." Like when I came to here, Sarjapur, Prabhuji said you should do youth preaching. I said, yes, Prabhuji. Then construction began, this and all things were going on. I was not doing anything practically preaching. Prabhuji said, first one-time program you should do, minimum 200 people should come. And like I saw, oh, Prabhuji, theek hai. Then we did one-time program, almost 150, 200 people came also. Prabhuji was very happy. But now he wants more, that more youth preaching should happen here and things like that. So sometimes they will say, enough. Sometimes they will say, do more according to time, place, and circumstance. So ask them, very simple. I hope that satisfies your question, Matan. Suresh, too, you can.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Can you able to hear me? Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Connect audio, connect.
Am I audible?
Give feedback, no? Yes, Prabhuji, you can ask a question.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the nice class. I missed the physically today. I'm traveling to my city office, MG Road. So hope you are able to hear me.
1 minute, 1 minute. Now
Is
you
it
can
better
tell.
now? Is it better
Yes,
now?
yes. Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Dandavат Pranam Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful class. And I missed the physical association today as I need to travel to my city office, MG Road. Already the traffic is very high. So see, one thing which I just wanted to clarity was you were saying about certain uh, details about the Narada Muni's past life, and then about even facing some consequences of the karma about the different occasions. But when Pandavas have not done anything, why they have to face this? Maybe it was not fitting into the Bhagavad Gita logic. Maybe just wanted to understand that. Not able to hear you, Prabhu.
Now you will be able to hear.
Yes.
So the Pandavas, they were engaged in the service of the Lord. Sometimes the Lord takes his personal associates and sets example for everybody else. So when the Lord is taking his due associates and setting example for us, that we have to tolerate actually what is coming in our destiny. So generally for Nitya Siddhas, the Lord takes them and sets example, so that we learn in our life. Like sometime it so happened that in the newly married bridegroom comes bride comes actually in the house, the mother will not directly chastise actually the newly married girl, because they don't have so much of relationship as of now. So in case the girl comes and she serves the husband or father-in-law and mother-in-law, and she doesn't put salt actually in the sabji, then what the mother will say, that she will take, she will tell to her daughter only, hey, tere ko buddhi nahi hai, you don't have brain, you have not put salt in the sabji, or you have not put salt in the dal and things like that. Then she will taste the sabji and she will realize, Arey, I have not put the salt actually. So why she is not chastising directly? Because that much relationship is not there. So the Lord takes his pure devotees and sets example for us, for all of us to follow in our life actually. So for us, don't worry that nothing is going to come that is beyond our quota. So the Lord is setting example through his pure devotees, that the pure devotees are ready to tolerate even that is not there, even in their karma also. The Nitya Siddhas specifically, and what to speak of what is there in our quota. And the Lord gives actually what is required for our purification. That's all. Nothing more than that he gives actually. So it is just to learn in our life that lesson, that the Lord is very merciful and is very kind. He is not a person who is very envious or a person who is having defects like that. Like sometime in the material world, we may do little injustice to a person because we have defects. We may judge somebody who is, who has not done that particular action and things like that because we have defects. But the Lord is not a person who is having defects or something like that. At the same time, he is not a person who is envious, that he wants us to suffer or something like that. Rather, he is Suridam, the best friend, and he is well-wisher for all the living entities actually. So the Lord takes his pure devotees and sets example for all of us. And that is the reason actually this Susamiksha Manu I was describing.
Okay.
Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
1 minute.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Yeah. So actually, that is the subject matter of the subsequent verses. So that's why I did not take. Otherwise, other devotee they will say that तू अब हमारा content बोल दी. How to do the spiritual master, and everything is part of training. So thank you very much for adding this very important point. That there is a question of choosing between a bona fide and non bona fide. Not there is no question of not choosing at all only, or choosing one's own mind only. Like that. Like what Ritviks are doing. They are saying that we are our own mind only is guru. Prabhupada is only our guru. And why Prabhupada? Why not Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur only? Why not Krishna only directly? Then they say, no, no, no. The last living pure devotee spiritual master is no. That should be chosen actually, and we should not encompass him and things like that. Then what about when Prabhupada himself said that Jayapataka Maharaj is personal associate of Lord Chaitanya? What about that? They have no answer. And many times actually their followers are not told only these things. I regularly come across these Ritviks, and like one boy was there from NIT, this one, Calicut, and he was meeting me and discussing so many things. So I was telling him that what about this statement of Prabhupada? What about the statement of Prabhupada? Prabhupada said about Gopal Krishna Maharaj that he is like my son only. What about those statements? Then he was like, oh, I was not knowing only. So people, in order to just justify their own things, actually, they just tell everything and anything actually. So thank you very much. You brought out that very important point. That it is a question of choosing a bona fide spiritual master and non-bona fide. There is no question of not choosing only, or choosing one's own mind only, or choosing a figment of one's own concoction of mind, like that. Hare Krishna.